What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about what's going on with Starfield. What's up? It's making people mad again. 'Tis the season, Christmas season. Why not have everybody just getting mad? We had people getting mad in the Marvel community with Insomniac, had people get mad in the DC community with Suicide Squad, Kill Justice League. We might as well make it the trifecta, right? All three, and do Starfield as well. So, okay, well, what's happened? Well, reviews have continued to get lower, right? Where now the newest reviews are negative, like full on. They're negative in the sense that like people do not like the game, the newer group of people, which brings down the overall grading of Starfield to mixed. And this is on Steam. Now, a few things to say, okay? I want to stick to my morals that, and I think this is important, it only matters what you think, like you, the person watching. And I think people completely forget about that all the time. Now, are the reviews valid? I actually think they are. I actually think the Steam reviews are some of the most valid reviews. Not that they're like incredible and they're like a Bible or anything, but I think they're better than the majority of what you get. And I've said this before, I would never in my life, especially the more I've been doing this, the more I see these things, the more tapped in I am. I would never in my life go to Metacritic for really either of them. But specifically, this is going to shock you, the user ratings. The user ratings for games on Metacritic are some of the most broken things I've ever seen in my life. We had people admit this past year about like how bad Rotten Tomatoes is, right? That there's people that are literally paid off and that the reviews are fake, right? I think like Metacritic is still actually in that way worse. Rotten Tomatoes is garbage. That doesn't really do games, right? But I just thought of that kind of comparison there. But I mean, you go any console warrior kind of game, immediately is tainted. Like you can, Starfield's actually a really good example. Starfield, Spider-Man, God of War, any freaking game that is aligned with a publisher that's PlayStation or Xbox, I guess, right? Immediately you cannot trust it. Now you could say, well, Alex, do you trust the critic scores? No, I also don't trust that. But to be honest, the longer that I'm around and see stuff, not just review bombing, but review bombing in a positive way, both of those things are so real. You have fake zeros, you have fake tens. And it's insane. It's insanely bad. So, is Steam better than that? It absolutely is. And that's another thing I think people are kind of forgetting. Because I think, like, what people are forgetting, both parts to it. Number one, it doesn't really matter. Like, at the end of the day, it does matter, I guess, in, like, well, if you want to send a message from, like, maybe Bethesda looks at it. I mean, there was that kind of story that happened a little while ago. Like, they are responding to reviews. I think they're responding pretty badly to reviews, so I don't love that. But, I think Mr. Matty Plays did a video breaking that down. That's, like, customer support. That's, like, different than Bethesda. So I'll let them off the hook there. But is it something that, well, yeah, you want to send a message? I get it from that perspective where it's like, well, Alex, don't discount reviews entirely. Like, well, how do you send a message to these people? There's a few different ways. One of them is by, speaking, leaving a big score, a big 2 out of 10 like that can send a message if enough people do it. I think, though, it's got to be genuine. And I think, like buying the game, supporting the game, right? Putting your money where your mouth is. That is the most important thing to all these companies. They all care about money. They're all greedy, not just in gaming, but Hollywood, all this stuff. You hurt them in their pocketbooks, if that even exists anymore, and that is where they would really start to change, okay? To kind of throw that out there. They're not entirely, empty and they don't matter. Also, as, we constantly say whenever I talk about reviews, there are genuine people that want to see what others think of something, and they look at the score like that. I don't, I don't do that, at least anymore. I used to, I guess, when I was growing up and getting into it, I did it. And it's not like an age thing. I'm saying some people literally do it now and some people don't. And I understand it. I get it, right? Some people don't have as much time to freaking watch hours of footage and be plugged in. They want to go online. They want to see what the game score is, and they want to get the game or not get the game based off of that. I think it's kind of a broken system in general, but there's not much you can do with it. So I will throw out there, I will give you, it is reviews do mean something to some people, and that's totally fine. But that is something, in the way I've covered this, the way I've said this in this video, I don't think has been the greatest of my career here. I think people have discounted those Steam reviews so much that that's a negative, because they do to some people matter. And also, they are, I think, the most legitimate of any reviews that exist online. I would say that. That could be wrong, but that's my opinion of it, okay? I think that's one side, and I don't, agree with it. But the other side is putting too much stock into it. So it's almost like maybe going right down the middle is what you want to do. You don't want to pretend like it doesn't exist at all, because there is something there, but you also don't want to overinflate it and make it seem like it's everything. That gets you into like console war battles and all that jazz that you really don't want to participate in, or at least I don't think, and that's bad as well. Ultimately, and this is going to sound a little odd, two things. Number one, have your own opinion on this game. Again, to reiterate and to make that very important. Number two, I actually do think the reviews reflect what those people think. And that's kind of where I was coming from with, like, I do think this is the most legitimate. I don't think there's a lot of console warriors that are doing that. I think in some places there are, when you go on Twitter, when you go on Metacritic, etc. But, like, Steam has just had this, like, progressive, like, it's just kind of happened. You could argue some sort of, like, hive mind mentality, because they've all gone, like, it's gone the same way. You don't have, like, a reverse going on, like a roller coaster, right, where it's bad, and then all of a sudden you have all this positive stuff. In fact, it was good at launch from people, like, reviewing it. It was good, then it was mixed, and everybody's doing these reviews. It's good, then it's mixed, then it's bad. And although the overall scores are mixed, the newest ones are literally bad scores, right, or bad experiences. So you started good, then you went, and then you went. And, like, I don't know if Starfield deserves it. I actually kind of like the game. And you could argue maybe people are just kind of following each other. But I don't know. I actually kind of think it's the way I look at it. Starfield is a game that's continued to expand in terms of getting to people that were not the initial group, right? You had the initial fans of it. Not necessarily fanboys. I'm sure there were some, but fans. Fans of Bethesda. Fans of even, like, this kind of type of game. And you had that. And then it spread out. And it became a different bubble. And then it spread out and became an even bigger bubble. And you're going to get people in there, much like videos. Honestly, much like videos. Videos start with your group, then they get bigger, then they get big. And as they get bigger, people watch them for less time, and there's more dislikes involved because you're going out of the people that kind of know you. You're getting people that have no idea. Maybe they click on a whim. Maybe they're half interested in the topic versus people that were fully interested in the topic. And that's kind of just how it is. And so, I don't know. Like, I don't look at it as, like, maliciously evil. I don't think Starfield is getting review bombed in that way, in that sense. I don't know if it deserves mixed or bad scores. I, again, liked it, but it's one person's opinion versus another person. And that's, again, back to the point of have your own opinion on it. It's been kind of wild, though. And obviously that's where the stories start, right? Oh, well, now Starfield, it went from being a good game. You got to hyper-analyze the people playing it, all this. Well, now it's a mixed game. And now people are kind of, and that's already not good for Bethesda. And then now it's a bad game. Oh, man, you don't want Bethesda making bad games. And I get it. You don't. Like, you legitimately, if you think Starfield's a bad game, you don't want Bethesda making those games. No, I would argue. I was pretty disappointed with Fallout 4. It wasn't a terrible game, but I just didn't like it all that much. 76, I thought was terrible. I didn't stick around for it to improve, but you had that. And then you have this. So, and I actually think this is a bounce back for them. I actually think this is better work than what they've done the last two times, but that's just how I view it. So, it's been interesting to see this weird online fall, and I think you can call it that, because it didn't start like this. So they've legitimately and accurately falled online, only online. You don't really know about anywhere else, right? And we're in our own bubble, by the way, too. Just all these different phrases and words just to kind of throw out there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.